taking up so much space. Look what it's done to the Powerpuff Girls.
1998 birthed one of Cartoon Network's longest running and most successful franchises with the Powerpuff Girls. I've gone on and on before about just how much this franchise has under its belt, but just in case you're new to the channel, welcome, join the Discord to talk cartoons please, thank you, I love you so much. The Powerpuff Girls have had a full animated series that ran 6 seasons and 78 episodes, a theatrically released movie, 13 video games both on console and handheld, a Nike collab, merchandise everywhere, 2 animated specials, one with a completely different art style, their very own full-length anime that never aired in America but it still counts, a reboot that lasted 3 seasons, multiple specials, and it's on indefinite hiatus, but don't you worry, I'm sure it'll come back in no time.
Like that's ever gonna happen.
And if that wasn't enough, those girls have 3 separate albums that have placed on the Billboard top music charts. Look, my point is that there has never been a shortage in Powerpuff Girls media. The franchise has been around since its debut and will hold strong for many years to come. But just because the Powerpuff Girls have been successful as a franchise doesn't mean that there hasn't been a few projects that have been cut short. There's actually been quite a few episodes that haven't seen the light of day, so my hope is to try and spread some light on what could have been. Starting with the Powerpuff Girls, just to get them out of the way because I've already made 2 videos on them. And if you haven't seen them, go check those out for your boy. In 2001, the Powerpuff Girls' success had went far beyond just the network itself. The franchise had been on the air for 3 years at this point, yet these girls had become household names already, which was unheard of for Cartoon Network at the time, because they had just never had a hit that big. So naturally, the network gained more and more confidence in the Powerpuff Girls as a franchise that they decided to move into the world of theatrically released movies. The network gave Craig and his team a budget, and they spent the year developing the film to the best of their ability, while also juggling episode concepts for the television show. One of the episodes that they happened to be developing at the time was a Powerpuff Girls special by the name of The Powerpuff Girls Deja Vu. The team got really far into development. The full storyline along with new characters and how they interact in the world were already figured out. The concept was that the Powerpuff Girls would stumble upon a mirror that was the gateway to a completely opposite dimension. After touching the mirror, the girls were pulled through the portal and swapped places with that universe's Powerpuff Girls, the Powerpuff Girls, Berserk, Brat, and Brute, who are single-handedly responsible for destroying their own city, the city of Vilesville, while our Powerpuff Girls would have to prove their innocence and find their way back to their home. The idea was ready to go, but it had to wait for the time being, seeing that the movie was the main priority. Well, the network would release the movie, and to the network's surprise, it completely flopped. The movie failed to make any profit at all and was a huge financial loss for the network. It was the worst thing to happen to them as a network at the time.
You okay, Buttercup? It's Blossom, man. Don't touch it.
The failure of the Powerpuff Girls movies hurt the network so bad that they not only had to cancel plans on other theatrical movies for shows that were running, but Cartoon Network wouldn't even attempt to go back to the theater for another 16 years. And when they finally gained the same confidence and try it again with Teen Titans Go to the movies, it flopped. Again. So the likelihood of the network ever doing that again is not very strong. Which, give me 10 seconds to rant for, just a little bit. 10 seconds to rant. Look, you'll have one job. Go see Teen Titans Go to the movies so we can get Teen Titans 03 back. They already promised it in the after credits.
We're transmitting!
This is the Teen Titans. Can anyone hear us? We think we found a way back.
All you had to do was support the movie and y'all let it flop, and then you wondered why they didn't bring it back. Guys, we could have had it. We were so close. We were so freaking close. We were so freaking close. We were so close. Sorry. I digress. But with the disappointment that was the Powerpuff Girls movie, budgets had to be pulled and episodes had to be scrapped as a result. And one of those victims just so happened to be their Powerpuff Girls Deja Vu. But the team still believed in the story. even if they didn't have the budget anymore, so they'd compensate by making it the 50th anniversary comic book special, which is sold out everywhere, so F me, but in a way, I guess we did get to experience this episode. But with the rumored new series coming out, it will be really cool to get to see them again.
The City of Townsville.
Interesting enough, there was another Powerpuff Girls concept that didn't make it past the development stages. If you look back at the Powerpuff Girls franchise as a whole, you probably notice that their history with crossovers is a little bit complicated. If we're talking about the original series, then there were no actual crossovers within the cartoon itself, but they've crossed over many times with characters in commercials with Dragon Ball Z, video games with collabs, and bumpers, with one of the most memorable being the Powerpuff Girls bumper with the DC superhero Wonder Woman.
Thanks, Powerpuff Girls.
No prob. We're big fans of old school.
You girls are developing into quite the superheroes.
Someday we'll be as developed as
Which is wild because that was very clearly a titty joke. I mean, look at how uncomfortable Wonder Woman is. She literally covers up. But speaking of sort of awkward situations where the Powerpuff Girls are paired up with the DC character, there was that one crossover the reboot had with Teen Titans Go in 2016, but I haven't seen it and I'll save that for another day. But back during the original days of the Powerpuff Girls series, Craig had an idea that for one episode, the girls would have to run in with the Joker. Yes, the Joker. Specifically the Joker from Batman the Animated Series. Craig described what the episode could have been in a Tumblr post where he stated, and I quote, "When we did the original series, I really wanted to do an episode where the Joker came to town and started committing crimes. The idea was that the mayor was so excited to have a celebrity villain in town that he would actually try to thwart the girls from stopping him because the Joker was finally putting Townsville on the map. We wanted to use Bruce Timm's design for Batman the Animated Series and get Mark Hamill to do the voice. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers said no. That was my best Craig McCracken, and I will never be doing that again. But the placement of this episode in the series is unknown. I'm not sure what season it could have taken place in, or if it would have taken place after the movie or in its own self-contained special, but unfortunately, this never came to be. So I speculate that this was either at the very early stages in the Powerpuff Girls as a series, before they had proven themselves as a franchise, or it was after the movie had failed to make the money Warner Brothers wanted it to, so they turned it down as a result. But the idea of this crossover fascinates me. I love comics, and this could have been a very special episode. I'm actually surprised this one didn't end up getting turned into a comic special, since they didn't want to spend the money animating it. But who knows? Either way, with the rumored reboot being developed, this could be something Craig expresses interest in again. I think Warner would be a lot more positive on the situation now. This definitely feels like something they'd allow today. The Powerpuff Girls are being put into the Multiverses video game where they interact with DC characters, and they recently approved of a comic book with a bunch of Cartoon Network characters crossing over with DC. So who knows, maybe this is one that we'll see in the future. I really wonder how this one would truly play out. Now, moving away from crossovers and cancelled episodes, there was an episode that was actually made but then banned from the network in America. On October 26 of 2003, Season 5, Episode 18 titled See Me, Feel Me, Know Me premiered in the UK, but was noticeably absent from the Cartoon Network in the United States. In this episode, the girls are visited by a gnome who offers them a chance to bring peace to all the land. The only catch is that this would include the girls losing their powers and the people of Townsville losing their free will. The girls approve with the hopes of becoming normal girls so they can fit in, but learn from their mistakes and try to thwart the gnome from controlling the masses. Now, all of that seems pretty typical for a Powerpuff Girls episode. Nothing really ban-worthy. The controversy comes in with the idea that a show like the Powerpuff Girls is talking about things like communism, dictatorship, and cults. Cool those keyboard fingers down, man. I'll get to the real reason in just a second. But most fans speculated that that was the reason the episode was being banned in America and other countries. And I can see how that could be a little dark as far as kids' subject matter goes, but the episode itself and especially its music numbers brighten up the subject matter for sure. Well, to me at least. But none of that would matter, because despite the different ideologies being expressed in the episode and what some would consider to be super heavy subject matter, the actual reason for the episode's cancellation is far more tame. Apparently this episode was banned because some of the side characters and some of the discarded debris looked like Jesus and a cross, when really it was just a hippie background character who just happened to have hair that goes down and a goatee. But nope, that was the reason. Out of all of the episodes that were done and the non-stop abuse that these little girls get from episode to episode to episode to episode, all it took was a background character and a couple of sticks that resembled crosses to get an episode banned. American television standards are really, really weird. But a little while later, the network either made a mistake or learned from their previous one, because they would release the episode 6 years later on a DVD box set. And that would be the end of it. See Me, Feel Me, Know Me would finally be able to be shared with the world. I'll let you decide on if it was worth it or not. For a franchise that has gone on for over 25 years, I'm surprised that there weren't more canceled projects. Well, I'm sure there are more that we just don't know about, but either way, learning about what could have been when it comes to these franchises is something that has never failed to interest me. All of the possibilities and the new stories, new settings, possibly even getting new characters that we ultimately never got to see is just fascinating. It interests me so much that it actually might end up becoming a series if I wanted to. For other cartoons that may have had canceled episodes like Dexter's or any of the cartoons, any Nicktoons, any whatever, I'm gonna think on that. This might actually become a series that I do on the channel if the video does well enough. But anyways, be sure to comment how you feel about that and which of these canceled episodes interest you the most. I'd be really interested to see which one excites you the most. Anyways, thanks for watching and join the Discord, link in the bio. A new video every week, so stick around if you're interested. Okay, thanks. Bye!
Girls, get up! Mojo Jojo just snuck into a movie theater without paying!
We're on it, Professor.
Rest and get ready to rumble. Brush those teeth with bedtime bubbles. Nighty-night, girls. Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup come with everything you see here. They talk, too. Each sold